How are you, my dear learners? In this video I am going to talk about how to write a very profound significance of the study in your research and also how to identify your problem statement very easily. So without wasting any time, let's get started.
Let us start at the very beginning.
My dear learners, what we do when we start a research paper? Normally we start with the abstract. Sometimes we start with introduction, correct? And then we start with a literature review, then goes for the methodology, then we go for data analysis, and then we write results and discussion. But I would like to say, do not follow this chronology, okay? You might ask me, why doctor?
Why, doctor?
The reason behind is that when you are writing the introduction or identifying your significance of the study or identifying your research problem, you might be confused what to write, how to write, and what you are going to connect at the end of the research paper writing. Therefore, in my opinion, you should start first, no matter in which field, using your data. For example, if you are a field in economics and business or engineering or life science, you might have your data. It might be secondary data or it might be primary data. For engineering and life science, it might be lab-based data or computer simulated data. So whatever data that you have, first you need to visualize, okay? First you visualize your data using any different type of softwares like Excel, R programming, Python, whatever software you know. Use the bar diagram, pie chart or different type of line diagram to find out the data, what the story behind the data, okay? By visualizing your data, you actually find out the problem inside the data. For example, if you are looking for a data set, GDP, gross domestic product of India or Pakistan or Bangladesh or any other country. Now, if you have a trend line, for instance from 1990 to 2023, there should be some places your GDP drops significantly. For example, it might be 6.5, 6.7, 6.8, 7, 7.8, and all on a sudden in 2015 or 2007 or 8, GDP drops 2.75. Now why is that? Now the data is telling you something went wrong in 2007 and 8 or in 2014 in that particular year, and that's why that GDP falls drastically down. Now you better look at that particular area or that particular time period, what was happened during that time. And here you go, the data will tell you what is the problem of your research. You first identify that problem. You first look at the problem that the data is telling you. In my opinion, the story inside the data will tell you how to write your research problem and the significance. Now once you identify there is a problem inside the trend or inside the data, then you have to look at what type of problem there and then find out the literature review related to that particular problem. There are so many problems which is already inside that data that is related to your literature review, and then you find out the connection between the data problem and what the literature tells you about that particular time period. Connect these two, and then usually you find out that there's something that you need to suggest or that you need to contribute, and here you go, you find your research problem. Now if I wrap up, first find out the data and then visualize your data. Find out the problem inside the data, what the data telling you. Then related to the problem, find out the literatures of that particular time period and find out the literature and then connect the data problem with the literature review and find out how to solve that problem, what kind of suggestions you can make or what kind of extra research you can do in order to find out the problem that is inside the data set. So this is one way of identifying your research problem or significance of the study. This is what I call the reverse engineering. You understand? The reverse engineering, meaning that from the bottom you go to the top.
You do not trim these hedges from top to bottom, but from bottom to top, as we've discussed.
So find the literature review? No. Find the data first and then analyze it. Do the findings from the data analysis or visualization. Find out the data problem or where is the story behind the problem. Connect with the literature, and after that you identify your research problem. In my opinion, you have to write your introduction and the findings, for instance the research objective, research question at the end.
Row 3 at the end there.
Not at the beginning of your research paper writing. Just leave it for a while. First data analysis, findings, and then you find out what type of contribution you can make from that particular findings, and from bottom you go up, which means you go to the research objective, research problem, and write your introduction. This is way when a reader will read your research introduction or research problem or research objective, they will connect your investigation with the data analysis and your research problem, because they are going to study or they are going to read from the introduction. Now you already connected from the bottom to the top, so anybody who is going to read from the top, they can easily understand that there is a coherence between the introduction, literature review, data analysis, and this is how you should write your research problem and identify your research significance. This is a wonderful way of doing it, because this will save a lot of time instead of writing your introduction at the beginning of your research paper writing. I hope these tips will help you to start your writing very quickly. In the next tutorial, I am going to share 3 fantastic research tools which is free for you to write your research paper within a very short time. And that type of tutorial is going to be coming very soon. So until next time, thank you so much my dear learners. I will see you in the next exciting video. Bye bye.
Got good tips.